All right, we're going to start off today's video with a product that I've been seeing on Instagram, and that is for the Natix network. Basically, it's a device that's going to plug into your Tesla dashcam port, and what it does is pretty clever. It allows them to use GPS and overlay, so it's going to transmit your dashcam footage to this Natix network. It gives you crypto in exchange for that information, and as you drive, your dashcam footage gets uploaded to the cloud with really good GPS data. That is the same thing Tesla is doing to build their own maps. Tesla has the advantage because it has the other input data directly from the car, or as I'm using FSD. But literally, they are cleverly not stealing into your data. You can do what you want with it. Or it takes your data to help build other AI driving models. Because Tesla has already fronted the cost of the cameras and the infrastructure and figured out where to put the cameras. So they take the data, build the maps, build the model. Pretty clever, I must say. So the device is like $250 on pre-sale, and they give you their crypto token, and then that goes into what is transpiring today is that DeepSeek AI model that's come online in China. It is a whole lot cheaper to run, evidently. So Elon Musk, Tesla, XAI, Meta, you name it, they're all buying these really expensive NVIDIA chips that are power hungry. And DeepSeek's competitive advantage is they are at least now at ChatGPT 1 levels, but they use more conventional chip designs, and they consume a lot less power. Come to the point of about 90 to 80% more efficient to build the model than using NVIDIA GPUs. So that's the question. That's why the markets have reacted so violently this Monday morning. That's the problem. NVIDIA's down 10%, Tesla's down 4 or 5%. I mean, just across the board sell-off in the Magnificent Seven and AI stocks, basically. And for good reason, because the market now has the equation changed, has all of these companies spent billions of dollars on developing AI data centers for basically a gigantic waste in capital. That is what some people are now arguing. In total, we spent, 120-ish billion dollars. Likely the actual number isn't known, so it could be 130, 140. It's hard to say exactly what these numbers really are, but anyway, so 120 billion doesn't seem like a lot, but the entire industry has spent a considerable amount of volume on these chips, which is fine, but okay, it realized it, but it's going to drive straight through. Okay. This is a likely mapping error. Tesla gets into the wrong left turn lane around 400 feet shy of where it was actually supposed to turn left. So I intervened. Please review video. Okay, it's already okay. Back to what we were saying. So that 120 whatever billion, maybe I'm getting my numbers wrong. That's roughly 1% of your GDP. Not much. But as you have, it has ripple effects, because now we're anticipating more spend year over year. 1%, yeah, if you have a $35 trillion, whatever. It's not much. Maybe I'm totally screwing up my numbers. Go to YouTube or leave it in the comments. But you have this potential ripple effect because money goes through the economy several times. So if you spend 120 on NVIDIA chips, basically, or building out these data centers, that money gets spent. Workers, electricians, the IT guy the networking people, they spend the money and it's recycled several times, 3, 4, whatever. So that has a huge ripple effect. And then you have this magnificent US company, NVIDIA, that's soaking in all of the revenue, and then partnered, TSMC, which is building the chips. And what this is doing is it gives opportunities to NVIDIA's competitor, because now you can do all of this model building on conventional chips, more or less where I think Tesla was going on with the Dojo before Cortex. But this is the interesting thing, is for building the FSD model, Dojo didn't work very well. It was working, but it wasn't getting the job done until the newer NVIDIA chips. And then you can see these huge improvements happening with Cortex. So for the purposes of building FSD, I think the market may be overreacting for Tesla, because it is primarily sitting there analyzing videos. So every night this car sends 10-ish gigs up to the cloud, depending on how much I drove in a given day, averaging about 100 miles, a little bit more on some busier days. So there you go. Okay, still sunny. So there you have it. That is why this AI, or we've had this severe market volatility this morning, is because suddenly the equation possibly has changed. So right now we're on the model or version 13.2.2, and highly anticipating the update coming in either probably Thursday, because that's what Tesla likes to do, drop the updates on Thursdays for more of a wide release on the version 13 updates. We did, and that would take us to the 13.2.5. Not exactly sure if that was just the Cybertruck version, but that's going to be our new update. And yes, every single week, just it's mind-boggling how much money, hundreds and hundreds of, or almost several $100,000 in just power consumption. It's incredible. But I don't know how you would do this without GPUs, because you're physically taking in graphical input from the car's cameras. So you need those NVIDIA chips. But we'll see. There's a lot of either fear of missing out, false reporting, and then, this DeepSeek, it's an open source model, so a lot of people, it's open in a sense by nature, it's open source. The question is, are they going to rapidly accelerate to where OpenAI, Meta, Microsoft are? That's a good question. It's going to take, the coming months are going to be interesting in this game. But what's interesting is this Natix network. If they can convince enough Tesla drivers, they already have a dash cam app. So basically, cabbies, Uber drivers that drive a lot, they get paid to just keep a phone open and drive around town to capture that video data in their cars and get compensated for it, because that video data is very, very valuable. And where it's coming from does not matter, whether it's the car itself or a phone. Now, the Tesla model with the multiple cameras, really valuable to other autonomous AI model building companies. But they've been using the phone, and they now have this device. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's really interesting what's going on. And then what happens when FSD's competitive advantage isn't 5 to 10 years of advantage over their competitor, because that's when you're going to make your money. It's only 2 or 3 years. Because as you know, NVIDIA dropped the what would be Blackwell now. We're moving from H100s to B200. I'm going to get all these names wrong because I don't have a note sheet. I'm just watching the car drive. But yes, the chips are coming down in price. The infrastructure, a lot of people are now having the infrastructure. And much like when they saw SpaceX land a rocket on itself, or come back down to either land it in the ocean or grab it, the second other people see it happen, well, they go, investors, and it's just natural in the capital market, they go, well, we can copy this. Because the proof of concept, it worked. It went from experimental to, well, gee whiz, this is possible. And you're going to see a flush of money, but if they can do it cheaper and they can do it faster, it's just like medication. Or you have, Ozempic was like your first to market. Now you have the other GL1P or semaglutide derivatives, and they're starting to drive the price down. With Eli Lilly has their Mounjaro product. So now you have a formidable competitor. There's one more competitor to Ozempic, and then you have the knockoff Ozempics coming online. Or Ozempic still has some time left on their patents, but it's when you're running a patented product and you're the only game in town, you basically have that monopoly for 17, 20 years. But even if someone built their model in a different fashion, then whether you have a patent or not is irrelevant. You have a legitimate competitor, which then brings the price down. Imagine if there was only one PlayStation. Well, that's a bad analogy because, well, both Microsoft and Xbox, so PlayStation, Sony's PlayStation, Microsoft, Xbox, they basically get the hardware into your hand at a loss or at cost. Just like SpaceX or Starlink, so they can make the money back on selling you games or the service. So, but imagine if there was only one PlayStation 5, what have you. There was one game console in town. Then what would happen? Naturally, the price would be higher because there's no natural competitor, and they would be able to capture the most people willing to spend the most money on the product. Instead, we have a duopoly in that respect, which in a sense isn't a bad thing, because when there's a natural competitor and a formidable competitor, you get a better product. You get a lower cost product, and you get a better product overall, because both engineering teams or both companies are working really hard to impress the consumer. When you have one company, well, we don't have to work that hard. It's all good. You kind of get fat. You don't get lean and competitive. There is an argument to say that too many competitors are actually a bad thing, or a saturated market, because margins are now lower. And with those lower margins, you don't have that growth, or you don't have the profitability. And what ends up happening is that means you can't sink as much money into R&D. There's too many competitors fighting for the same pool of workers, and you actually don't get as much innovation sometimes with more than 3 competitors. Let's say there's 10 competitors in the same marketplace. They're all kind of working, but it saturates out and it becomes a commodity. And I would say sometimes it would be good if we had like a Waymo, a Tesla. I'm not saying I love FSD, but at the same time, everyone needs a check and a balance. So it would be, and right now it's a 2-man race in the autonomous driving. Waymo, Tesla. I know there's other people working on it, but there's really 2 people. Vision only Tesla is the only game in town, but with cheaper compute, maybe you'll get a 3rd one. Anyway, and then that would help bring the cost down. So right now, Tesla charges $99 a month or $8,000 for the lifetime subscription. Imagine if someone else had a better or a comparable offering. Would they be pushing that price points now lower and saying, okay, let's get this down to $49 a month or $39 a month, or your price for your robo-taxis, because Tesla was the only game in town, or Tesla and Waymo, so they're charging, I don't know, let's say 50 cents per mile to get you somewhere. Now they're going to be now they're fighting for a lower margin basis because you can open up 3 apps and get 3 bids to get to the airport as opposed to 1 app. So when Tesla goes unsupervised in certain markets, you have 1 competitor. You open up the Tesla Hail app, say, oh, it's going to be $40 to get to the airport. A cab right now is running, like Uber Human, $72. Because right now, getting from where we are right now to the airport is going to be like $75 to $114, depending on the day, sometimes more. Tesla, well, I don't have a human. I can bid this at $50. And then, but, it's human, robot, but human, robot, robot, robot. So then now you get your pick. Oh, I got a black car for you. Better seats, better interior. I can get you there for $60. Whatever. Anyway, competition it's always good to have a competitor to keep prices and keep services, good. Keeps the businesses on their toes. Have a good day.